Just ahead, feeling the loss, an area teacher and coach has lost his battle with brain cancer. Plus, the death of a Minnesota hockey player leads to new protections now required for players. And Rochester Catholic Schools is kicking off a week of celebrations of what makes it so special. Your News at Noon starts now.
Live from your local news leader, this is KTTC News.
Good afternoon, I'm Jess Abrahamson. First today at noon, the White House National Security Council says that President Biden is still working through options after he vowed to retaliate for the drone attack that killed 3 U.S. service members at a base in Jordan. NBC's Keir Simmons reports from Amman.
Hey there, good day to you. The president vowing to respond to the first U.S. military fatalities from hostile fire since the war in Gaza began. President Biden describing it as a tough day. The 3 were killed at a base here in Jordan. 34 were injured, 8 evacuated for higher level care. A group backed by Iran is being blamed for the attack, but today Iran attempting to distance itself from the attack, saying it does not send orders to its proxies. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby telling Today they are looking at options while saying the US does not want a war with Iran. Still, some Republicans are saying it is now time for strikes inside Iran, saying a stronger message needs to be sent, while allies of the US in this region warning of further instability.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has returned to the Pentagon following his hushed hospitalization. His first public event was a meeting with NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. At the start of that, Austin commented on the drone strike in Jordan that killed those 3 U.S. service members and his ongoing recovery.
The President and I will not tolerate attack on U.S. forces, and we will take all necessary actions to defend the U.S. and our troops. Now, at this important time, I'm glad to be back at the Pentagon. I feel good and am recovering well, but still recovering. And I appreciate all the good wishes that I've received thus far.
Meanwhile, the White House is considering pausing or slowing some arms shipments to Israel, according to 3 current U.S. officials and 1 former official. This move would be meant to pressure the Israeli government to scale back its military assault in Gaza. The sources say Israeli officials continue to ask the administration for more weapons, including large aerial bombs, ammunition, and air defenses. The effort comes after weeks of President Joe Biden and his national security team failing to convince Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to dramatically change tactics in Gaza. We do want to let you know about a crash in our viewing area. We have a crew en route to an accident west of Hayfield on Highway 56. This is about 2 miles west as well as south of Hayfield. Right now, no word on any injuries or how long it may take to clear the scene there. We're going to let you know when we know more about that. Let's talk about weather now. Meteorologist Ted Schmidt is joining us out on the weather patio where we're enjoying a nice bright Monday.
It's a very rare thing, Jess. In fact, it has been a solid week now, 7 days, since we have enjoyed this much sunshine, really any of the sun. And this is something we're going to see a lot more of in the coming days, not maybe the entire time, but certainly much more of the sun that will be showing up. It was more evident in our sky this week than anything we had last week. Here's the current scene from our Lewiston auto camera of CC Heights. Not a cloud to be seen. A gorgeous sun-filled midday right now here to start the work week this Monday. 40 right now. It feels like 35 here at the studio. Just a hint of a south breeze. Air pressure is still falling across the map. Temperatures in the 40s or very close to it. Rochester 38. It's 41 in Winona, Mason City 42, Owatonna 43, and even warmer in Red Wing. There it's 45. Skies are clear. We're enjoying that sun, but tracking a line of showers approaching from the north. That's lining up with an approaching cold front, so we'll have 40s and sunshine today, then a shower chance, and then a breezy, colder outlook for another day or so. Weather Almanac, typical high this time of the year. We have to remind ourselves, 23. That's winter numbers there. The record today is 44 back in 1944, and we're going to be very close to that this afternoon. Sunset at 5:16. Look for high around 43. Some sunshine today. cool southwest breeze, chance of showers, maybe a brief sprinkle or shower after about 4:30 or 5, lasting for a couple of hours, or at least on the map for a couple of hours. And then we'll see some drier weather in the coming days and hours as we look still at a lot of sunshine. Our future, the full 7-day outlook, is coming up in a few minutes.
Flirting with a record high today, Ted. That's kind of exciting.
Getting close, yeah.
Thank you. Heads up for homeowners and renters. Rochester police responded to 3 residential break-ins over the weekend. The first happened sometime between 8 Friday night and 9 Sunday night at an apartment on the 10 block of 6th Avenue Southeast. A woman says someone smashed her back door window with a brick. She says a safe, some jewelry, cash, a PlayStation, and shoes were taken. Then a few blocks down on the 1000 block of 6th Avenue Southeast, a second home was broken into Saturday morning between 5 and 5:30. A man says his detached garage door was open and his car had been ransacked with a flashlight and mace stolen. The third burglary took place at a home on the 700 block of Elton Hills Drive Northwest. A man says his detached garage door was also left open and about $1,800 worth of tools was missing. Rochester police responded to an overdose early this morning. Medical crews were able to save the woman's life. Police and Rochester Fire were called to a home on Bandel Road Northwest about 2:45 this morning where a 36-year-old woman was unconscious. Police say she was breathing. Officers say she had a history of taking cocaine. Police administered 2 doses of Narcan. Police say Rochester Fire followed that up with oxygen, which helped the woman to stand. She was not coherent, though, and was taken to Mayo Clinic St. Mary's for further treatment. Police say officers found an M30 pill on the scene, which normally contains fentanyl. She is expected to fully recover. In November, Rochester voters said yes to extending the local sales tax. Today, the City Council is taking a closer look at what to do with the $205 million raised from that tax. So breaking down the plan, $50 million would finance an economic vitality fund. $50 million goes to street reconstruction, $40 million to flood control and water quality, and the remaining $65 million is earmarked to finance a new regional sports and recreation complex. The measure will extend the tax for a maximum of 24 years or until the projects are repaid, whichever comes first. Today's study session to go over all of this starts at 3:30. Rochester Catholic Schools has officially kicked off National Catholic Schools Week. This annual celebration is in honor of Catholic education's faith, mission, and community. Tomorrow, Rochester Catholic Schools is hosting its Day of Giving. That's an effort to raise $100,000 to support essential school programs and initiatives. Its president says the organization is close to the goal thanks to generous support.
So we're already halfway there. As long as we raise $50,000, we have generous donors who come forward with the other $50,000 and we'll get to $100,000. We're excited to celebrate our schools and support these incredibly vital programs that we have.
And if you're interested in making a donation, you can go to our website, kttc.com. On Thursday morning, RCS will host a live-streamed all-school mass that's happening at Lourdes High School and starts at 10. USA Hockey and Congress have approved legislation requiring the use of neck laceration protection for players in all age classifications other than adults, as well as for on-ice officials. This new requirement will be enforced in games and practices. It replaces a long-standing recommendation for the use of neck protection, as well as cut-resistant socks, sleeves, or undergarments. The legislation is also strongly recommending use of net guards by adult players. The move comes after the recent death of Adam Johnson, a former Minnesota Duluth Bulldog and pro player in England, who died after an opposing player's skate blade cut his neck during a game. The new requirement takes effect August 1st. We do have some sad news to share. After a battle with cancer, a local teacher and coach and avid Twins fan has passed away. Charlie Lonergan had been battling brain cancer for the last few years. According to his family, Charlie died in his sleep. This is video of Charlie just from last week, when we met him at the Twins Caravan at Mayo Clinic. He actually played against Joe Mauer in high school. He taught at Zumbro Education District for 17 years, and according to the school's Facebook post, they would wear Team Charlie shirts every Friday to support him through his cancer journey. Charlie leaves behind a wife, a son, and a baby on the way. Our mild winter is getting plenty of mixed reaction, but for our trees, the warmer temperatures can have some big implications. We'll dig into those next.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part.
This winter is definitely not typical, and experts say the unseasonable warmth could actually be incredibly damaging for Minnesota trees for a variety of reasons. Sammy Salina reports.
There is nothing normal about this.
Yeah, normally this time of year we'd be standing on quite a bit of snow, probably up to at least ankles, if not knee deep.
Nick Carletta is a Meade meteorologist for the National Weather Service in the Twin Cities.
Thankfully, right now, we did get a lot of rain in the fall, which helped relieve some of our drought, so we're not in as bad of a spot as we were going into last winter, but this is still not helping us out a lot.
It's been dry, so there's no snow on the ground.
Just everything around here is not really used to it.
And that's an issue for Minnesota's trees.
And that's really bad because if it gets cold again at some point, that means the soil is not insulated. The roots of trees are not anywhere near as cold tolerant as the above ground part of the tree.
Lee Freilich is the director of the University of Minnesota Center for Forest Ecology.
Well, at this point, if it gets cold again with no snow, it'll be really bad. If it stays this warm, that could also be bad because trees could start to leaf out too early.
He says trees could eventually mistake warmer temperatures for spring, and if a frost comes after that, it could hurt them.
If it just gets down to the upper 20s, it can be incredibly damaging.
He says the good thing about this warmer winter is it has allowed more water to soak into the ground.
We had some good heavy rain, and that rain was able to soak in rather than run off.
But he says we'll have to wait and see if the abnormal winter does more harm than good.
Lee says he's not worried about this upcoming week and the temperatures predicted. It's if temperatures continue to remain above average that could be detrimental to Minnesota's forests.
This weekend was supposed to be the start of the John Bear Grease Sled Dog Marathon, but Mother Nature had some other plans this year. The Northern Minnesota race was canceled due to the warmer weather and lack of snow, but that didn't stop the mushing community from gathering at the typical starting spot, Billy's Bar in Duluth. It was filled with mushers and Bear Grease fans for a special party and fundraising event. Some of the money raised will help a Grand Marais-based musher and her racing team. She says the warmer weather has impacted training for her and so many others.
It's been a tough year to be a musher in Minnesota. The conditions have been tough for training dogs. All mushers have spent more time on an ATV than they have wanted to, I'm sure.
Erin's from Grand Marais and has competed in many Bear Grease marathons. She's planning to take part in this year's Iditarod in Alaska in just weeks. Right now, she is the only musher from Minnesota on the roster for that, and money raised here will help her represent the North Star State well. An update on another major Midwest sports event. We now know the route for this year's Register's annual Great Bicycle Ride across Iowa, commonly known as RAGBRAI. Riders will begin in Glenwood on July 20th and are going to make overnight stops in Red Oak, Atlantic, Winterset, Ottumwa, and Mount Pleasant. The route will end in Burlington on July 27th, where those riders will be dipping their tires into the Mississippi River. This year's ride is a total of 434 miles and will be more than an 18,000-foot climb. In fact, organizers say this will be the hilliest ride on record. You can learn more about this on our website, kttc.com. And with a challenge like that ahead of them, they'll probably start training now if they haven't already, Ted, and this would be a great day for a bike ride.
Great day for that. Yeah, hard to imagine in January that could be the case, but certainly this, among many other days this week, will feature some great outdoor weather, some mild conditions, and something we haven't seen in a long time, that is sunshine. We have more of that in our upcoming forecast. The details are coming up after our Monday market report.
Here's your first alert weather with meteorologist Ted Schmidt.
Even if you're missing the cooler temperatures, it is good to see the sun again out there.
The sun is fantastic, Jess. We waited a week for this to happen. It's been a while, and it's great. It's fantastic. This morning, we had some pesky fog, a couple of patches of freezing fog. Made things a little slippery early this morning. But things have gotten better all across the board, and here in Rochester, it's been sunny the entire time since we got up this morning. Here's the current view from some of our Lewis Dodauto cameras. Not a cloud in the sky. We'll stick with the sun for at least a few more hours before some subtle changes work their way into our weather picture. It's 38 right now in Rochester, officially at the airport. Incredibly mild. 44 is today's record high temperature. We're certainly on pace to get close. I don't think we'll necessarily get there, but we will certainly be much closer to the record than the seasonal average. That would be 23. We're way above that already. 41 in Dodge Center, Mesa City. 42 and Winona 41. We're again looking at mostly low and mid 40s across the map. Kind of a cool southwest breeze makes it feel like 30. Hard to complain about that, though. That's not that bad for this time of the year anyway. Air pressure is falling, 29.96 as low pressure draws closer to the area. Here is a little disturbance, weak front pushing southward. A line of showers associated with that. Not much, but maybe a brief rain shower is in our future coming in out of that line that will arrive right around the evening commute, right around 4:30, 5 o'clock this afternoon. Stray showers possible later today. We'll stick with the very mild theme. In fact, all week long is going to be very mild. Rain and a couple snow showers late tonight behind that front. So a stray brief shower. After midnight, maybe a couple of rain and snow showers or flurries in the wee hours of tomorrow morning for the morning commute as well. And that is it for precipitation this week. It looks pretty quiet and very benign in our upcoming weather picture. Feature track today, we have some sunshine across the area. Here comes that band of clouds with that front. Band of clouds, a couple of brief showers happening during the early evening time frame. Well after midnight, close to tomorrow morning, we begin to see a couple of flurries or snow showers, little pockets of activity, maybe a trace amount on some surfaces. That'll wrap up by around 9 in the morning, and then gray skies give way to at least some breaks of sunshine in the afternoon, a chilly breeze, daytime temperatures 30s tomorrow, not the 40s, just slightly cooler behind that front. And then heading into Wednesday, occasional sun and clouds and temperatures again still looking very mild, the 30s and 40s on the map again. So rain showers this evening, 4 to 7 o'clock, very sparse activity. 3 or 4 in the morning tomorrow, chance of snow showers or sprinkles. That goes on until maybe about 8 or 9 in the morning. Very sparse hit or miss activity. Kind of a breezier night. We'll have winds at times from the northwest around 20, 25 miles per hour. So it's going to be a little brisk. The wind chill dropping colder than the freezing mark, but temperatures themselves right around the freezing mark. And highs throughout the week, 30s and 40s, and that is well above the low 20s. That would be on the seasonal standard for this time of the year. Mostly sunny, a stray shower late in the day, 43. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, some rain and snow showers, gray skies around 30. And then tomorrow, a couple of snow showers or flurries, sprinkles in the morning. We'll have gradual clearing in the afternoon. High temperatures in the mid-30s with a brisk northwest breeze. 7-day forecast, increasing sun over the next few days. And a very quiet spell of great weather, 30s and 40s. It would be fantastic for March to have weather like this because that would be kind of the seasonal standard with numbers like that. But even March isn't that sunny usually. March is more like last week, but it's 30-something and gloomy. This looks pretty good for us. Yeah, yesterday was a perfect March-like day. I was out for a walk and thought, yep, this feels like March. Yeah. Thank you, Ted. Just ahead, an alert for Chatfield residents about where to apply for building permits as of Thursday. And tax season is officially open as of today. There are some changes filers should know about. We'll have those details next. If you're hoping for a refund, you might be happy that tax season starts today. But this year, there are some important things all of us should keep in mind.
Tax season is here, and enrolled agent Bill Farmer says his ultimate piece of advice for this year is
don't get in a rush. There are a lot of people that are going to computerize tax forms, and they have to be out by the 31st of January.
Farmer says filing without all of your paperwork squared away is likely to get corrected by the IRS. And if you choose to file online, Farmer says the key is to print out your finished tax return first, check for mistakes, and then hit send.
If you've got transposed digits in your W-2 or something, the IRS is going to make that math change, and they're not going to tell you why they changed it. They're just going to change it and go on with life.
And make sure you stay tuned to the potential increase with the child tax credit. as legislation is still up in the air.
If they change the tax laws, it's going to push back the start from tomorrow until whenever the IRS is ready. Don't get in too big a rush. Wait and see what happens. Give them a couple days to get it worked out.
Farmer says to not be shocked when you get that 1099-K form in the mail. This form is from third-party networks like Venmo or PayPal.
The government knows that you got that money. Maybe you sold your football tickets. Maybe you sold your Taylor Swift tickets. That's a big deal because there were people that sold the tickets for a lot of money.
Olmsted County has a notice for Chatfield residents. Beginning February 1st, which is Thursday, building permits for projects in Chatfield will be handled by the Olmsted County Planning Department, and that includes Chatfield projects that are technically in Fillmore County, as the county line does go right through the city. So learn more about this change and the building permit process by going to our website, kttc.com. Here's Howard with what he's up to in the kitchen.
If you like the idea of a dish that has long-cooked taste, but you don't have time for all that long cooking, make sure you join us today. If you like the idea of a dish that has long-cooked taste, but you don't have time for all that long cooking, then you're going to go head over heels with the one-pot wonder we're making today. Plus, it's hearty, comforting, and very budget-friendly. Here we're sauteing some celery and carrots. Sauteing them brings out their natural sugar, which will add so much flavor. To that, we add a generous amount of chicken broth, some poultry seasoning, and a bit of black pepper. And we bring the whole thing to a boil. Here we have some biscuit baking mix combined with some milk to create a soft dough. We'll cut this into strips, and these will be our dumplings. Now we add them to our boiling soup, cover it, and let it simmer. Once they're cooked through, we stir in some cooked cut-up chicken, and it's time to ring the dinner bell. The whole thing from start to finish takes less time than having a pizza delivered. And just wait until you try these Amish-style dumplings. If you want to make our chicken and dumplings tonight, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a warm and cozy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Hot and cozy way.
Yeah, that would be a good meal after shoveling some snow, Ted, but we don't have to worry about that today.
Not really, no. It's certainly nothing accumulating today. We have some beautiful sunshine instead right now. There will be some changes to our weather eventually as we move along toward the tail end of this afternoon. There will be some rain. Nothing in the way of snow, though, at least today. Here's the current view from our Louis Stodato camera. This is from Lake Pepin, along the shoreline of Lake Pepin there in the Mississippi River. And some of the ice there beginning to thin out a little bit on this very mild day. Blue sky overhead here in Rochester as we look southward down Bandle Road. It's 41 here at the studio. The wind is very light. Feels like 36 at this point. 38 at the airport in Rochester. We'll tack on at least a few more degrees. 44 is the number to watch. That's today's record high temperature. We're not going to get there, I think, but maybe come certainly within a couple of degrees of that. 41 in Winona and 42 in Mason City, and already 45 in Red Wing. Skies are clear. We're enjoying some sunshine now, but watching a line of clouds and showers advancing to the southeast toward our area. Some of this arriving after 4 o'clock, mostly around 5 or 6, maybe a brief shower in that time frame. Clouds, a brisk breeze, but temperatures still right around 40 well into the evening as mild air holds on. Ted's trivia, what effect causes a rotating object to experience a force perpendicular to the direction of motion? This impacts global weather pattern. It's something we talk about in weather. It is one of the driving forces in what makes weather here on Earth. We'll have that answer coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Ted. In Japan, one meat specialty is so revered, there is a 43-year wait for it. Plus, a travel alert for any Americans heading to the Bahamas due to recent violence there. First, I'll look at one of the stories just after us on Investigate TV Plus.
Next time on Investigate TV Plus, mail carriers at the center of violent encounters.
What's behind the rise in robberies and how you can protect your mail and your money.
You may want to think twice if you're planning a tropical getaway to the Bahamas. The U.S. State Department is warning would-be travelers to the island's nation about a spike in crime there. The State Department issued a Level 2 travel advisory on Friday, just days after the U.S. Embassy in Nassau posted a security alert there. According to the embassy, there have been 18 murders in Nassau since the beginning of the year, and some took place in broad daylight. The alert cites retaliatory gang violence as the main motive for the murders. The State Department's advisory urges travelers to use increased caution, specifically on the islands of Grand Bahama and New Providence, which includes Nassau. Travelers were advised to use caution when out at night and to keep a low profile and not resist any robbery attempt. The biotech company 23andMe is facing a class action lawsuit. The suit is accusing the genetic testing company of failing to notify customers whose personal information was collected into lists that were sold on the dark web. The suit is also accusing 23andMe of failing to protect customers with Chinese and Jewish heritage, which were apparently targeted specifically. The suit was filed after the company notified the California Attorney General's office that it was hacked from late April through September of last year. That was before 23andMe became aware of the breach. Food prices are expected to continue to rise this year, but by how much? Here's our Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Look for prices at the grocery store to rise again this year. USDA is forecasting a 1.3% increase in the Consumer Price Index for all food this year. That's a slight increase from the 1.2% increase set back in December. Now, grocery store prices are expected to increase 0.4% this year. That's lower than the 0.6% decrease previously projected. Kobe beef croquettes are in big demand at one store in Japan, so big that a butcher shop in the country is telling folks they'll need to wait 43 years for them. It's reported there are 63,000 people on a wait list. They are deep fried potatoes and beef dumplings. Now, the shop says they created them to first familiarize their customers with Kobe beef, but they say the croquettes became more popular than any of their other products. And thanks but no thanks, says one food bank in the UK after someone donated a jar of Uncle Ben's cheese sauce with a best before date of June 1998. They say that's older than some of their volunteers. Now, one report pointing out the product was already past its sell-by date when the movie Titanic was in theaters. Food supply manager at the food bank says it's not unusual to get a donation that's out of date by maybe a year or two, but this one is a record for them. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or anytime at agweb.com.
Here's your first alert weather with meteorologist Ted Schmidt.
Beautiful sunshine today, the sunniest day in an entire week. It has been 7 days since we've really seen any sunshine here, and certainly something this sunny has been a long time coming. We've been waiting a long time for something this glorious to behold. A beautiful sun-filled scene on South Broadway that's live from our Lewis Dodauto camera in Rochester. It's 38 degrees right now in Rochester, the warmest temperature in more than a week, and we see a whole slew of 40s on the map already. 45 in Austin, 45 Forest City, Iowa, Red Wing now. 45. Rochester looking at the record of 44 today. We may be just shy of that by the end of the day. We have a few more degrees to get there, but certainly much closer to the record today for those temperatures than the seasonal average. 23 was the average high temperature. That's the 30-year climate average. We're way above that already today. We've been above that the entire time, actually. Bit of a brisk southwest breeze ushering warm air. That, coupled with the sunshine, making for a very spring-like day. Air pressure is falling. 29.96 inches of mercury. Blue sky overhead, a glorious March-like situation now. A line of clouds and showers, so there is going to be some change ahead of us. Eventually, clouds will come in for the very tail end of the day, and a brief shower is possible right around the evening commute, right around 5, 6 o'clock this evening. Stray shower possible this afternoon, otherwise very mild and spring-like today. Showers late tonight behind that front. A couple of little brief snow showers, sprinkles well after midnight, and maybe the first couple of hours tomorrow morning during the morning commute, but little of any accumulation expected. Beyond that, dry weather will be the rule, with very mild weather holding on. Temperatures incredibly warm for this time of the year, something we don't normally see. It's a stretch of weather like this in January. That is, it's something we normally see maybe once in a great while, but you're not going to see 2 solid weeks of 30s and 40s and sunshine. But that's what we're facing in the coming days. Brief shower possible about 4:30 or 5 until about 7 this evening. That line moves through. We'll have extra clouds, a couple of rain and snow showers well after midnight. See some of those scattered across the map. Very sparse activity, though, and those will move out by around 9 tomorrow morning. Then the reemergence of some sun late in the afternoon helps temperatures reach the mid-30s. A bit of a brisk breeze from the northwest. Heading into Wednesday, a light breeze with occasional sunshine and clouds, and temperatures again right around the 40-degree mark for the middle of the week. Sparse rain chances, very much low end of the scale, between 4 and 7 this evening. Then a break, a couple of snow showers and sprinkles just in the wee hours tomorrow morning, with a brisk breeze later tonight. Behind that front, for the evening hours and overnight, at times 20 to 25 miles per hour. So not overpowering, but kind of a breezy night. Temperatures the coming days, 30s and 40s, everything well above average and well above freezing, I might add, and more reminiscent of spring than January, or February for that matter. 43 today, a stray shower late in the afternoon, otherwise mostly sunny until then. Tonight, a shower this evening, then late in the night, a couple of rain and snow showers around 30 degrees, that brisk breeze. And then tomorrow, 36, some late-day sunshine after a couple of very sparse light snow showers. And 7-day forecast after that, we dry things out. We'll enjoy sunshine, something we didn't get to do last week at all. And just about each day features at least some measure of sun with incredible warmth each day. Ted's Trivia: what effect causes a rotating object to experience a force perpendicular to the direction of motion? Got a deflection there, basically. This impacts global weather patterns.
I'm trying to think what term I've heard you use before. Doppler effect seems too easy, so I'm going to go with B.
It is a Coriolis effect. This apparent force. It's not the true force, but it's caused by the momentum of the Earth rotating, and all of the upper level winds are deflected, and that actually causes the air currents and the jet stream and things like that. That's where it all comes from, the Earth's rotation.
Okay.
So that's a Coriolis effect. You know your stuff.
No, I just had a little bit of luck there. Thank you, Ted. Just ahead, we are wrapping up our local coverage from the Sundance Film Festival. And the Grammys are this Sunday. We're going to tell you about a special performance for that. 80 years in the making. We'll be right back. The Sundance Film Festival in Utah has now officially come to a close. Our KTTC producer, Kendall Shears, has given us a glimpse into what it's like through her role as a volunteer. And here is one final look at her great experiences in Park City.
Hey guys, I'm Kendall Shears, a producer with KTTC, and it is the last day of the Sundance Film Festival. It has been such a surreal and fantastic experience. I got to see amazing films, meet inspiring people, and help make this festival come to life. As a volunteer at the iconic Egyptian Theater, I had the greatest opportunity to have access to the groundbreaking celebration of film and art. Friday was the awards ceremony, and there were some films you need to look out for. The U.S. Grand Jury Prize for the Dramatic and Directing Awards went to In the Summers, a feature telling a story about a family that is broken but refuses to give up on each other. The movie A Real Pain with Jesse Eisenberg won the Waldo Salt Screenwriting Award. And Porcelain War, one of my favorites, received the U.S. Grand Jury Prize for a documentary. There are many other award-winning films worth mentioning, but all in all, the films at Sundance do not disappoint. And on the last day, I watched the last available film, Freaky Tales, starring Pedro Pascal, and it was a great way to finish the festival. I will never forget the wonderful people and memories made. This is the last glimpse I give you. I hope you enjoyed the content I share with you from the Sundance Film Festival. F-I-N, as they say in French at the end of the film. I'm Kendall Shears, signing out as your Sundance correspondent.
What an adventure. Thank you, Kendall. It's been a lot of fun. Legendary singer-songwriter Joni Mitchell will take the stage of the Grammy Awards Sunday as a performer for the first time at the age of 80. Mitchell is a nominee this year in the Best Folk Album category for her 2023 live album, Joni Mitchell at Newport. The album documents her surprise return to the concert stage at the 2022 Newport Folk Festival in Rhode Island after 20 years away. The iconic Canadian experimental artist was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997 and won a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys in 2002. The 9-time Grammy winner is best known for her 1970s hits like Big Yellow Taxi, Blue, Amelia, and Woodstock. When we return, we're going to literally blast off with some of Minnesota's brightest college students. First, on this Monday, here's a sneak peek at Investigate TV+.
They're tasked with delivering our mail, but more postal workers are being robbed on the job.
Today on Investigate TV+, we reveal why mail carriers have become a recent target for organized crime and how you can protect yourself.
Dozens of UMD Bulldogs are doing some final tests before they take off to New Mexico for a rocketry competition. Take a look. That's the UMD rocketry team testing a copy of the motor they'll be using to launch their nearly 12-foot tall rocket for competition. Doing this test allows the engineers to measure data and ensure their rocket will be ready to fly for the judges. The competition in New Mexico attracts people from all around the world. It's a chance for the Bulldogs to represent northern Minnesota through rocketry.
Students are developing all of the skills and theory that they learn in class and being able to apply it to a technical thing. I also think in a lot of ways it's just it's a prideful thing for Duluth. We want to represent our city and our state in a lot of ways.
The students have been working on this rocket all semester. The competition begins June 17th. That is impressive, Ted.
Yeah, it's really cool. And that's a big rocket, too. You needed that last week to get above the clouds here. But now they have great viewing for the rocket and all that beautiful blue sky we saw in the video there. And we get to enjoy that here today. And something we're going to see quite a bit of in the coming days. Right now, look at some sunshine for the rest of this afternoon. A couple of brief light showers may develop after about 4:30 or 5 into the early evening as a weak front moves through. It won't rain the entire time, but there will be a spotty shower opportunity between 4 and 7. Look for highs around 43. The record is 44, so it'll be really close, as you can see there. Beyond this, 40s and a lot of 30s still with sunshine, at least a portion of each day, and that's something we did not get to enjoy last week at all.
Oh, yeah, for sure. A much brighter week ahead of us.
Absolutely.
Have a great Monday afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.